Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Nikki, and today we are going to actually look at this palette right here. This is the Goddess palette by Alter Ego, and I'm going to do a look with this. So quick disclaimer, the last palette I used of theirs, they actually sent to me for free. They did not pay me. They just said, here's a palette. If you like it, share your opinions. If you don't like it, share your opinions. And I was like, cool. And they actually told me that they would be releasing a dupe for the Natasha Denona Gold palette. And let me tell you, I've been waiting and I've been checking back every week, and it finally dropped. Your girl bought it. So we're just gonna dive right in. I'm going to hop into a shade called Iris, and it is this shade right here. With this shade, I'm going to apply this into my crease. This right here is just going to kind of lay down the foundation for the mustard shade that I'll be using in a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and hop in with another shade. The shade I'm using is called Athena, and this is more of like a mustard yellow brown. It's actually super pretty. With that being said, I'm going to apply this. I'm going to keep it a little bit lower than the rest of the brown that I applied, and I'm using that same brush that I used for the first shade to kind of meld the two together. I'm going to go ahead and hop into this dark brown shade right here called Avalon, and with this I'm just using a very small amount. What I'm going to do with this is I'm going to keep it right along the edge of my eyelid and the crease. I will be blending this in a little bit, but for right now, I just kind of want to map everything out. So I understand that it looks a little bit crazy right now. I went in really heavy with that brown in a specific area, which is totally fine. I have hooded eyelids, and I wanted to make sure I had a good roadmap to get from point A to point B, C, D, E, whatever. So what I'm gonna do now is use a little bit of concealer and a very tiny flat brush, and I'm going to kind of carve out where I want this to start. So I'm taking my e.l.f. 16-Hour Camo Concealer in Light Sand. I always apply this to the very back of my hand. I'll use like one drop, like that, and that's all that I need. In fact, it's usually too much. Now I'm gonna go ahead and take that flat brush, and I'm grabbing just a little bit of this at a time because I don't want to get too crazy and I want to make sure it's precise. So what I'm going to do is just kind of go along the brown line. But I'm only doing this to the very center part of my eye. And I am going to just kind of pat back and forth and bring that line down all the way to my eyelashes. Now I'm going to go ahead and wait about 3 minutes just to make sure everything has settled and that it's completely dry before I apply anything else. Alright, so I've let that dry, and this is where it's going to get just a little bit tricky. So what I'm doing is I'm taking a very tiny flat brush, and I'm going to grab that really deep teal shade called Gaia in this palette, which is right here. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to kind of draw like a halo design. I'm going right on top of that. It doesn't have to be perfect either. So I'm just bringing it down here like this, and then I'm going to leave that alone for a little bit. I'm going to come over here and kind of carve this out how I want it. So now that I have this kind of mapped out, I am going to take that same brush and I'm going to pat it just along where I put the concealer at the very top of this, because I want the gold to really pop up against this green. I can still see a little bit of that concealer, which is perfectly fine. When I put the gold on it, it won't be noticeable. But what I'm gonna go ahead and do now is take a short shader brush. This is from Sigma. This is the E20, and you can use any brush, guys. I just wanna show you guys what I'm using for this because I'm gonna be getting into some really tight areas. So with this brush, I'm taking that same green shade and I am going to just pat to my heart's content. So I am literally just patting this on. I'm gonna go over here and kind of encapsulate that concealer. And I'm going to pat a little bit more before I start blending. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do now is I'm going to take a tiny little brush and I'm going to very, very carefully just blend that edge. If I do the blending afterwards, whenever the glitter's on my eye, it's gonna spread the glitter everywhere. So I'm just taking my time and just kind of softening that edge. I will be going back in and patting a little bit more of that green where I need to after I apply the gold. But for right now, I just kind of want to smudge it out a little bit, give it kind of like a messy, ununiform look. Oh my gosh, I seriously love this so much. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do now is take a small, short, fluffy brush, and I am going to just kind of marry the two together a little bit more, and I'm gonna grab a little bit more of Athena, that mustard shade, and I'm just gonna kind of help blend that edge a little bit like that. Before I go ahead and just like pat the green on, I know it looks a little bit patchy right now. I was blending back and forth and sometimes you take some product off. I'm gonna hop back into this palette. I'm gonna grab this shade right here called Valkyrie. And with this, I'm gonna use it wet first, and then I'll go and dry and pat it with my finger. So for the wet application, I'm gonna take a very thin, tiny flat brush, and I'm taking my MAC Prep and Prime Fix Plus, and take your time with this, guys, because this glitter, it's beautiful, but sometimes there's a little bit of a fallout. It can get a little crazy. If you take it slow, you'll be fine. So I'm hopping in there and grabbing this, and then I'm going to kind of carve out the top part of where I want the glitter, just like this. And it doesn't have to be perfect like here on the actual eyelid. The thing you need to focus on the most would be the line, like where you want the very edge of that gold to be. And even again, it doesn't have to be perfect there either. This is a grungy type of like glam look, so to each their own. So now I'm literally just going back and forth as I'm working my way down to my eyelashes. All right, so now we're gonna pack on more of that green before going into the other shade. So I'm gonna grab Gaia one more time, and I'm gonna literally pat it on the actual lid. I'm not gonna focus or worry about what's on my crease. I've already done it, it's there, it's good. I am patting that green into that gold. I'm gonna be going back in with my finger and it's gonna look a lot better. But for now, I'm trying to build a little bit of a gradient because I have another shade that I'm about to apply. We're gonna have even more fun. I'm hopping into this shade right here called Artemis. Oh my gosh, I love these Greek names. Goodness gracious. Speaking of, there's a shade in here called Pandora. I don't know if you guys are fans of Anne Rice, but you need to read her book, Pandora. It is amazing. Absolutely love it. If you liked Interview with a Vampire, you're definitely gonna like Pandora. So I'm gonna go ahead and hop in with Artemis. So I'm gonna go ahead and take a wet brush to grab Artemis because I need this to be like intense for right now. But I'm going to actually apply it where the green and that gold meet, and it just looks so freaking rocking. Like, I just love it. I just love the shade. You know, like after I already did this eye, I was thinking maybe I should just do like a full eyelid of Artemis. I'll do that soon. I already started this, and this still looks really pretty. I'm just literally like helping to encase that gold. As for the edge, I'm stopping about almost to the very edge of my eyelid. Okay, so next I'm gonna hop in with a finger. My nails are super long, which stinks because it's really hard to like get everywhere that I want to get without like moving stuff around. So I'm gonna be really careful, but I'm gonna grab that bright gold Valkyrie shade on my finger, and I am going to just kind of pat around a little bit. So now it looks like this. What I'm gonna go ahead and do now is I'm gonna take a shade in here called Freya, which I freaking love that name, by the way. I'm an old school gamer, and I used to play a game called Final Fantasy IX, and there was a character in there that I absolutely loved, and her name was Freya, and she was a dragon knight, and it was super cool. Anyways, like, side story, you guys didn't care, but whatever, I gave it to you anyways. So I'm gonna go ahead and hop into this shade right here called Freya, and this is an icy white, like bright gold, super beautiful. I'm not gonna take too much, I'm gonna build it up, but I'm applying a little bit right below my brow bone. I have a green eyeliner pencil. This is from Urban Decay. It's in the shade Mars. So I'm gonna take this and I'm going to apply it directly underneath my lower lash line. And I'm only working half the eyelid at a time because I really want to smudge it out before it sets. So I'm taking a very small pencil brush and I am just gonna go to town. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take another brush. It doesn't really matter what kind of brush you use as long as it's not super huge. I'm gonna go in and grab Athena again, and that's that mustard yellow brown. I freaking love this color. Like, oh my gosh. Is it weird that I want to lipstick this shade? Never mind, forget I asked that. I like it, it's cool. So I'm going to actually apply this right below that liner. So now I'm gonna go ahead and take this liner and I'm going to apply it to my actual waterline. I'm gonna hop right back in with Gaia, that green shade, and I'm patting this right underneath my lower lash line. So everywhere that I applied that green eyeliner, and I'm making sure that it connects to my upper eyelid, so that way everything looks kind of uniform and together. And I'm just gonna kind of smudge this around a little bit. Just like that. And then I'm gonna hop right back in with Freya, and that was that white gold shade right here. With this, I'm gonna use it wet. So I'm taking my MAC Fix Plus, and I have a little domed type of pencil brush. I'm just gonna get a little crazy with it. And I am going to apply this to the inner corner of my eye. Now I am also going to bring it right underneath my tear duct, and I'll show you guys that. So I'm right here, and I'm kind of gently going around. I don't want to like blend too much because I might drag the green, and I already have discoloration that's green in this area naturally, so I'm trying to not drag it but still add this color where I need it to go. So I'm bringing it right here and kind of marrying it to the green that we applied earlier, just about right here. I'm gonna go ahead and clean this up off camera and then I'll be right back. And I'm back. So this is the completed look. I'm gonna go ahead and share with you guys what I used. That way, if you guys are curious, and again, all of this will be listed down below for you too. So I did use the Luminous Lash Paradise base and the mascara from L'Oreal. I did take a MAC Chromaline paint pot in Black just to kind of go along my lashes a little bit because I'm not wearing any falsies. So I decided to go in with a Colourpop Ultra Matte Liquid Lipstick. This is in Platform. And I lined my lips with it and then I filled it in. So I contoured my face using the Tan to Dark Contour Face Shaping Powder Trio. This is from BareMinerals, and I only used one shade in here, and it was this middle shade right here. And then for the blush, I decided to go in with my Sleek Makeup Nude Collection blush, and this is in Suede. I absolutely love this color. This is a very, very beautiful blush. I don't know if you guys can see this, but I decided to go in with a gold highlight because I have gold on my lids. And so I am using the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector Pressed. This is in Champagne Gold, and it just really tied everything together. So that's everything that I used. So before I get into my thoughts on this palette, I do need to say I do not own the Natasha Denona Gold palette. I wish I did. I would love to compare them side by side. I have seen other videos and it looks like maybe one or two colors might be just a little bit different, but really, for the price, I don't even care. I probably already have that same exact shade somewhere else in my dresser of makeup over here. So I'm totally fine. Like, I don't have to have everything 100% spot on. The shimmers seem to be 100% spot on from what I'm seeing online. I freaking love this. Guys, I swear, some of these more affordable brands, like, they are coming for you big brands. They are coming hard. There's enough gold in here to last you for a long time. There's so many different variations. You have copper, you have bronze even. There's a lot you can do with this palette. Sure, there's like, you know, browns and there's a teal, but you don't have to use the teal. You don't have, I mean, you could do a neutral look with a little bit of glam pretty simply with this palette. So 16 bucks, it has my blessing. You know what? That is my thoughts and my opinions on this palette. This is actually getting moved to the top drawer, which is like the special reserve stuff. Like, that's what I use all the time. So that's basically it for this video, guys. Thanks so much for stopping by and watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed it as much as I did. I love, oh, hold on, let me tell you, I'm loving the green on the eyes. It's my favorite color and it just does something for me. I don't know. So if you guys enjoyed the video, give me a thumbs up, definitely subscribe. It totally helps me out, of course. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.